Welcome into the Belhaven Blazers Football Coaches Show. I'm Kenneth Nash, and joining me, as always, head football coach Blaine McCorkle. Coach, busy week. Thanks for taking the time to come check us out and come hang out with us.
You bet. Thanks for having me. Busy week indeed. So busy we even got a new backdrop. So we're excited about that. Looks good. So people know our website where to go to. So.
Absolutely. The Blazers had eventful is probably an understatement week up in North Carolina last week. And I say week, it wasn't just a weekend. It was almost an entire week. And they go with a huge win. We're going to talk about that 34-27 win over Methodist University. First USA South win, a big-time road victory for the Blazers. We got tons of highlights. We'll take a look ahead as well to this week's matchup against North Carolina Wesleyan. But obviously, we always start with the game that's just passed. You've got your first USA South win. It took a little while to get to it. Some weather impacted when you were going to play. We had a couple of game time changes. I know you guys spent a lot of time adjusting and readjusting. But when it mattered on Saturday, you went out and got the win. Just talk about the game a little bit.
Yeah, we had to earn it. There's no doubt about that. And, this week, I think I'm in my 24th year of coaching college football. I've never had a week like this, and I hope I never do again. It was almost comical. You could write a short story on everything that went on this week to get this game played. And at the end of the day, it's a huge credit to our kids to come away with a win with everything in the world going against them. We left on Wednesday to play a game on Saturday that we thought we were going to play on Friday, and we were never really sure where we were going to play. And so there was a lot of adversity throughout this whole trip. Really, when you leave on Wednesday thinking you're going to play on Friday, it really costs you a day and a half practice because you don't get a true Friday practice before Saturday. You condense part of Thursday's prep into your Wednesday prep, and then you lose a ton of meeting and film time. So for the kids to show up, keep fighting, find a way to do it, sit in a hotel all day long, staring at the walls on Friday, waiting on a hurricane to pass. Our staff did a good job putting a schedule together to keep them busy and focused. But I give our kids a lot of credit. They showed a lot of character, and our culture really shined through to come away with a win.
Absolutely. It was a big win, and you mentioned the kind of losing practice time. And practice time this week was valuable for other reasons. You play in turf here. You play on turf most places you go. This is a grass field. You were taking time to try to get some practice on grass. You lost a lot of that time going in, and we talked about it last week. It's a very different surface. It plays a very different game. So I know that was an added little caveat this week for y'all going up to Methodist.
Yeah, it was, and I love grass. I mean, I grew up playing on grass and coached a lot of games over the years on grass. I wish everybody still had it. It's kind of fun and how football is supposed to be, but that's just not what people play on anymore. And I don't fault Methodist for having it. It's a great surface. They've got a beautiful field there that's really well kept, and they did a nice job with their field. So a lot of credit to them and their grounds crew with everything that came through to have that field in such good shape. But it is different, and we wanted to practice on it all week, and we have a facility here that we can get on from time to time, so we're able to do that. But we did lose a huge chunk of that, and then we were able to find a grass field on the way to have a short walkthrough / practice on to get on as much as we can. But that was a big piece of it. But at the end of the day, credit to Methodist and their facilities crew for having the field ready to go. It was in really nice shape.
Absolutely. Let's talk about the game, actually, the game that happened on Saturday. It was back and forth.
There was a game that happened.
There was a game that happened. It was back and forth, and it was, I've been around your program for this is my fourth year now here at Belhaven. This was one of the most kind of gutsy, grindy wins that I think I've seen your program have, at least in my time here. Back and forth, it went to the final drive of the game, really. You just talk about the fact that you guys played all four quarters and what you saw from your offense and your defense. Special teams had a crazy good game to pull out a win against a really, really good Methodist program.
Yeah, it was a big win holistically. We were talking as a staff just this morning. In our time here now 4.5 years, we've had some really big and exciting wins. You think our first year when we beat Howard Payne there in the last 20 seconds was exciting, and the Louisiana College win in the spring season was exciting. Both the last two Howard Payne wins were exciting. Beating ETBU was exciting. But this may be the one, as I look back over the 4.5 years, that I'm probably the most proud of because of what the kids had to go through, which we mentioned a little bit a minute ago. They had to play for 4 quarters, and all 3 phases had to contribute. And that's a real compliment to who we're trying to be as a program, is build a whole complete program. We talk a lot about playing complementary football, which is where your defense and your offense complement each other, and your special teams complements both phases in style of play. There's a lot of teams out there that maybe they're all offensive driven or defensive driven, and they don't match up. Things don't always mesh, and that's not good for your culture, your cohesion, whatever. But this was a true 3-phase complementary football win, and I'm pretty proud of our guys for that.
Absolutely. We've got a ton of highlights to look at. We'll go ahead and dive into it. We mentioned it was a back and forth game from pretty much the opening kickoff. And early on, you guys found yourself down 7-0 in the first quarter. And this is our first clip. We go straight into the scoring plays. Zach Hammett, who we've talked a lot about on this show this year, gets open in the end zone. Great throw by Tim Johnson. Zach does well to shield the ball, makes the catch, and gets you guys even.
Yep, got down early 7-0. They scored on the first play after we fumbled a snap. Really a fluke start for us, but offense came back, put together a really nice drive, took the ball all the way down the field. Some big plays by Colby catching the ball. Then we found Zach here in the back of the end zone. Tim put this ball exactly where he needed to put it, where only Zach could get it. Zach does a great job using his body. Zach was a great high school basketball player as well, and showed some of that skill right there going up and boxing that thing out.
Absolutely. That got the game even. It was still 7-7, and Connor Fordham, no secret, we all know who Connor is. Talk about him a ton. He just shoots through the middle here, unblocked, gets to the quarterback, big sack.
Yeah, big time player making a big time play right here, and their offense was dangerous. This was a really, really good football team we played, and hats off to them. They've got some talented kids, and they know what they're doing. They do a good job, but we're able to get Connor free here to make a big sack, to put him in a long yardage situation, and love seeing him make plays. What's cool about that one, if you see the lady there in the back of the end zone, that's actually his mom taking a picture of it. So she's been kind of our team photographer here for a bit and is really talented with her camera. So pretty neat picture for the Fordham family there.
Absolutely. It was a big play. Here's another big play. Fabian Carter, part of this talented receiving core, gets open behind the defense. Tim does a nice job. Fabian's got to wait on it a second. Good patience, makes the catch, and then falls backward into the end zone for the touchdown.
Yep, nice to see Fabian make a play here this week. And a really talented guy, really speedy, really athletic, and he's able to get behind the defense. They bite up there, and we hit him on the corner route. This is one of those where it looks like it's just a balloon falling out of the sky. He's got to wait on it. So, but nice to see Fabian make a play there. And this gives us a 14-14 game at this point.
We talked about the talented receiving core, Fabian Carter, Jacoby James Grace, who's somebody we've mentioned once or twice this year. But there's a lot of playmakers on Saturday. He was one of them. This is a big catch. Gets a first down on 3rd and long, and eventually is going to lead to a touchdown. Great grab here by Jacoby James Grace.
That's right. Got behind the sticks a little bit here, and Jacoby made a nice play to give us a first down to keep the drive alive. And really talented young player in our program, and he's got a lot of upside. As you mentioned, that group is really, really deep, and there's a lot of really similar players. In the game, we had 13 different guys touch the ball, and that's great. That's great when you can spread it around like that, and Jacoby was one of them right there to put us in good position to get a first down to go in and score here.
Absolutely. We talked about how talented and deep that receiving core is. Running back stable's pretty deep as well. Devin Daniels here runs into a wall from 8 yards out, but stays on his feet, bounces outside, takes it in for 6. Yeah,
Devin is a strong, thick lower body trunk, and it's going to take more than one to get him down. And he hits a wall here and bounces it outside, and just like our receiving room, our running back room's pretty deep too. We've got a lot of guys that can get it in the end zone. So really nice drive by our offense. Good to see Devin cap that thing off. We had them on the ropes right there a little bit. They had to burn a timeout and things like that. They had missed their extra point, so this made it 20-20. And then Constantine misses his first one of the year, which is very uncharacteristic of him. And we had a chance to go ahead 21-20, but I think he's got it out of his system now, and he'll be good to go because he has been spot on. I'm really proud of how consistent he's been all year.
Absolutely. It was 20-20. Back to the defensive side of the ball. And this is one of your new guys, Eli Webb, who's been a playmaker defensively for y'all this year. Gets in the backfield, gets a big sack. He's got a few sacks this year. He's one you're excited about. We've talked about him a lot.
Yeah, he is. And we all know going into the season, one of the big question marks was our defensive line. And he's one of the freshmen that came in here and really showed up ready to go. And he is a big, strong, physical, tough, high energy, high motor player, and gets the quarterback down right there. Gets up, he's pretty fired up. He's a fun kid to be around, and he's turned into a team favorite in a hurry. And just a freshman, so we're going to get used to seeing a lot of highlights from him for a long time.
Absolutely. We'll go from one of the new guys to one of the guys that's been around this defense for quite a while. Luke Fondren gets his sack here. This is a big stop. Gets in the backfield, hangs on for dear life a little bit, brings down the quarterback, a big-time stop for the defense.
That's right. Big play for Luke here as they were driving pretty good. They moved the ball well all day, especially in the first half. They were pretty talented, as I mentioned. So big play for Luke here, getting the sack and holding on and getting this talented quarterback, Burris, on the ground. Good to see Luke make a play. He's been around here for a long time, and he's one of those heart and soul guys that just kind of makes the thing go. So happy for Luke there.
Absolutely. This was a big play. This was pivotal. 4th down stop here. We talked about this was a close game the entire time. Every stop, every play mattered. And your defense comes up huge there, keeps them out of the end zone. Big time play.
Yeah, huge play by our whole defense right here, just knocking them back, stuffing up this quarterback sneak and not letting them in on 4th and 1. And this was the first drive out of the third quarter. They're up 27-20. Took the ball all the way down the field to the 1. But it doesn't matter if they go 99 yards for 20 plays. If they don't go in, it doesn't count.
Yeah.
So really proud of our defense. You see the energy and emotion they had coming off after that stop, and that really springboarded us through the second half just emotionally. And the energy and excitement on our sideline through the second half of that third quarter and the fourth quarter was as good as I've ever seen. It was really exciting to see.
Absolutely. Cody McCraney is a guy who's taken on a little bit of a bigger role with that defensive line. We talked about that defensive line had some changing faces, new guys stepping into new roles, and the depth you've got there is really interesting. Cody McCraney gets a sack here and really spreading the love on that defensive line this week.
Yeah, Cody's a guy that's played linebacker historically for us. After all those guys graduated last year, he came to my office and said, "Coach, I think I can gain some weight and do it." And I said, "Sure, why not? There's nothing to lose." And it's really been a great move for him, and we're really proud of just how tough he is and how hard he works. And nobody loves the team more than Cody McCraney.
Yep.
Wild Man, as we call him.
Yep.
Sometimes I forget what his real name is, but that's Wild Man to the rest of us. But great to see him get in there and make a sack and make a play. And he's one of those guys, when he gets in and make a play, everybody's going to celebrate it because of who he is and what he means to our team.
Absolutely. We mentioned special teams had a really good game as well. You come with a blocked punt here. Connor Fordham once again just shoots through, gets his hand on it, and this helps set up some really good field position for y'all.
Yeah, great play by Connor here. We felt all week long like we could block a punt on these guys. They did a little bit different with their schematics, a little bit risk-reward with how they decided to protect and cover it, so we felt like we could get free and get one. They had one blocked last week against LaGrange as well, so excited to see Connor get that. Another big momentum play. Anytime you block a punt, that's an instant momentum swing for whoever the blocking team is. And I think Connor had 8 tackles, a sack, and a block punt on the day. That's a pretty good stat line. So
absolutely.
A great day there for Connor.
Absolutely. We talked about the running back group. We haven't mentioned Colby Blunt yet, but we are going to talk about Deontay Galashaw here. He gets a nice little route here. Great throw by Tim because he couldn't lead him too far. Tim Johnson had to put this in the right spot. 33-yard touchdown here to Galashaw.
Yeah, good play we had set up off some things we did last week. We ran the speed sweep into the boundary a good bit against Huntington last week. It was really good for us. And we felt like we might be able to get the wheel behind it there. And Deontay got out there. Tim threw a great ball. Put that ball right on him. Threw a laser right to him. Where usually that wheel route's got a little more air to it. But good throw by Tim. And excited to see Deontay get, I think, his 3rd touchdown of the year, if I'm not mistaken.
Now, this was an interesting drive, and it was an important one as you had just tied the game with that Deontay Galashaw touchdown. You were way behind the sticks on this drive. You're 3rd and 23 right here. Big-time 20-yard gain here to Colby Blunt, and this sets you up for the play we'll see in just a second.
Yeah, we actually got to 1st and 35, I think it was, with just some unusual penalties and circumstance, and it was a bizarre situation. As we look back at it now, all the penalties that happened through this drive were probably good because they helped us eat some clock. They kept backing us up, but we were still first down, so we just kept eating clock and running football plays. We actually, before this, had a delay of game. I think this was our first delay of game in, I think, 19 or 20 games. We were trying to count back when our last one was. Their play clocks didn't work, so we were dependent on the back judge to hold his hand up, and it got away from us a little bit. But, big play here to put us in position to keep the drive alive by Colby making a play here out of the backfield.
Yeah, a little screen play there, set up 4th and 3, and this was a really big drive. You mentioned it ate a lot of clock, but it was dependent on you still taking the ball all the way down the field and going and scoring, and you don't do that without this 4th down conversion.
That's right, and this 4th and 2 here, we got in heavy personnel. We said we're going right at you. We're going to find out, all right, who wants this game and who wants it right now. This is kind of the game on 4th and 2 right here, and this is a personnel set and a play that our kids believe in. The whole sideline was calling for the play. And there's no doubt we're going to hand it to number 4 and let him go get 2 yards for the first down. So it's one of those things we feel like if we can't get 2 or 3 on you on this play, shame on us, because this is our core. This is who we want to be. So big 4th down conversion there for Colby to keep the drive going.
Absolutely. We mentioned it really only mattered if you went down and scored a touchdown, and you do just that. Colby Blunt, the 3rd running back of the day to get a score, goes in, punches it in from 6 yards out, and this takes the lead, and this would be what eventually helps you win the ball game.
That's right, and this was after 2 touchdowns were called back.
Yep.
And then another one where Colby ran the ball all the way down to the 2 after about a 30-yard gain was called back. Yep. So, again, it hurts when you get a penalty, but in theory, we're helping eat some of that clock to help our defense out, but we were able to finish the drive off, punch it in, and finally take the lead here with about 4 minutes, maybe 5 minutes left on the clock to take a lead.
Yeah, absolutely. And then you mentioned there's 4 to 5 minutes left on the clock. Your defense gets a stop. You get the ball back, and then Methodist gets a stop. So you're going to have to give it back, and you call on Andrew Norton, who I'm pretty sure we haven't talked about really this year in terms of highlights. This was a highlight-worthy play. Andrew pins him inside the 1-yard line. He gets some help from Wyatt Beck and Christian Lewis. This is incredible. A great punt, and you talked about all three phases and being a complimentary football team. This is what you mean.
Yeah, this was as big a play as you will see in the game, and great ball by Andrew Norton here. He does a great job. Andrew's a fun kid, loves the team, wants to be a special teams coordinator someday, and he will. But kicks a perfect ball down here, and Christian Lewis and Wyatt Beck, just unbelievable effort by Wyatt, a freshman linebacker out of Parkview Baptist down in Baton Rouge, to go bat that ball back. And you see his excitement, just freshman making a play, and you see Christian holding the ball up because they understand the situation.
Yeah.
You know, and that's what we talk about complimentary football. They understand that, hey, if we can pin these guys back, it's game over because our defense isn't going to let them go 99 yards, and they didn't. So that was as big a play as you'll see in the game, and it's great to see a freshman just be so exciting, go down there with just unbelievable effort and make that play.
Yeah, I love Christian Lewis holding it up like a trophy after he downs it inside the 1. You mentioned defense wasn't going to let him go 99-plus yards to try to tie this game up, and they didn't do that. T.J. Hersey seals it here with a nice interception. Great grab on a deflected pass, and this seals it for the Blazers.
Yeah, great to see T.J. Get the interception to end the game. And as I mentioned, after Connor's blocked punt and then Wyatt going down there and bat that thing in the special teams, the energy and the noise on our sideline was phenomenal. Mm-hmm. And it's not like there's a big crowd. Let's be honest, there's a couple hundred people there.
Yeah.
So we weren't playing in Neyland Stadium or Tiger Stadium or one of those where there's 100,000 people. But the guys were so loud and so energetic on our sideline that our defensive staff actually couldn't hear each other on their headsets, which is kind of funny considering the crowd we're in.
Yeah, absolutely.
But that just shows you the passion and the emotion, the energy that our guys bring to these games. And it was exciting to see it. Just kind of at that fever pitch, and that's what it's all about, is just going on the road, with your guys, with your teammates, getting in a dogfight in the mud and winning it late and just doing it together. And it was really a special day for the Blazers.
It was 34-27 final score. It's your first USA South win since joining the conference this year. You're 3-1 on the season now, and you turn your attention to North Carolina Wesleyan, who will be coming here to the Bowl on Saturday. Let's take a quick look at them and just kind of talk about the opposition coming up this week. Obviously, you'll be back home, so that'll be nice. No 5-day road trips this week. I hate to break it to you. I know your director of football ops is really disappointed in that. We're going to talk about Lee Simpson in a second. But let's talk about North Carolina Wesleyan. Can you just kind of talk about what we're going to see from them and kind of what your expectations are for Saturday?
Yeah, I like this football team. I like North Carolina Wesleyan. I like what they do. I like their style. Coach Fulkowski, a guy that I'm still getting to know, being new in the conference, but I really respect what he's trying to do with it. They're very similar to us, that they know what they want to do. They believe in it. They believe in blocking and tackling and good, hard-nosed, tough, sound football. Yeah. And that's their style of play. They've won the last 2 in a row, so they got a little momentum right now. This running back, this Crank kid, number 7, he's dynamic. He's a good football player, and we will have to contain him. And what they do on defense is tough to block. It's a simple scheme. You know where they're going to be, but it does create some different angles and things like that you don't see. So we got our work cut out for us, and it should be an exciting game.
Absolutely. I'm interested to see your kind of perspective on the mental reset, because we talked about how long this trip was, and we were playing Saturday, we're playing Friday, we're playing Saturday. You're sitting in the middle of a hurricane in a hotel. You're gone for 5 days. You're gone for the better part of last week. Can you talk about the mental reset it takes from players to come back? I'm sure you guys met yesterday and get ready to go because college football takes no days off. You're back at it Saturday.
Yep. Yeah, they come quick. They do come quick, and we were gone on the road for 5 days. And, a lot of credit goes to Lee Simpson, our director of football operations, as you mentioned a minute ago. We actually gave him the game ball after the game because what he did this week is nothing short of amazing. I mean, you talk about above and beyond the call of duty. Lee Simpson did it this week. Within a day's time, he had to move our entire trip up, which was a 2-day trip anyway, 3-day trip anyway, turned into a 5-day trip. So he's constantly changing hotels, restaurants, or not, we don't need restaurants, but food coming in, caterers, things like that, places to practice. I mean, on the bus as we're going, he's on the phone the whole time just working. And just about every time he would get something set, the schedule would change again. We'd have a different kickoff time or a different day or different possible location. So, I think at one point he had 5 or 6 different itineraries he was working to. Just tell me which one. But he was ready, and he did a great job. And what a blessing Lee Simpson is to our program, because he allows us just to go coach the game, and he handles all of that stuff. And there was nobody more deserving to get that game ball after than Lee. It was neat to see him get the ball and our kids chanting his name after. It was pretty cool moment.
Absolutely. I know you guys got back late yesterday afternoon. Can you kind of just talk about what your schedule looks like, I guess, moving forward from this week? Because you need the time to recover. But you also got to get on the field and get in the film room and prep for North Carolina Wesleyan.
Yeah, we spent very little time on rehashing the Methodist game. You do that sometimes just to look for things you need to correct, the obvious, correct some stats, grade sheets, play counts, things like that. And those are of all great value, but that's what you spend most of your Sunday doing. And you'll start into your next opponent a little bit, usually around 9:30 at night on Sunday. We'll get into that a little bit. But being on the road for 5 days, we thought it was better. Everybody needed to take a breath. Mm-hmm. So you get in close to 1 o'clock on Sunday. Well, that's usually what time we start as a staff. Yeah. Players come in at 3. So we took actually yesterday off. Okay. Had the staff grade yesterday's film on their own. Come back this morning, Monday morning, as we're shooting this, and kind of give the report. And then we went straight to North Carolina Wesleyan. So we're not going to spend a lot of time living in the past. The Methodist game's over. We got to win. We got to move on because we've got a really another good team and a good challenge coming in here this Saturday we've got to be ready for.
Absolutely. North Carolina Wesleyan coming to the Bowl on Saturday. Belhaven continues U.S. State South play. Make sure to show up. 12 p.m. kickoff against North Carolina Wesleyan. And I know you guys are searching for your first USA South home win to continue this great start. 3-1 already this season. But I know you got a long way to go.
That's right. It'll be 73 degrees and sunny right now. There's no hurricane in sight. It was 73 degrees and sunny here last week, too. We could have just played the thing here, I guess. But anyway, should be a great day here in Jackson for people to come out and watch some good college football, and we're excited for it to be here.
Absolutely. Congratulations on the win to you and your whole team. Appreciate your time.
Thank you.